Hey everyone, Paul and Sam, welcome to my full condensed video build of Revell's brand new 125th 71 Ford Mustang Boss 351 kit. So yes, we're back, another full video build. Today we're going to get this kit built. I reviewed this a while back and said it looked like a fantastic kit. It was recommended to me by one of my supporters, David Toop, so thank you David for this one. Probably would have gone on my radar a little bit if you hadn't recommended it. We're not long done on Mustang, but this is a brand new tool that just come out, and I do love these larger fastback cars. They just look epic, and after reviewing it, I just couldn't hold off building anymore. So we're going to get this built today fully. Don't forget, this is a shorter condensed video. You can access the full 3-part video build series by becoming a patron in the links down below. There are other perks to this as well, which are listed here. So have a look through, and you want to come and support the videos, feel free and get access to all the exclusive behind the scenes content. Anyway, let's get into the build and let's get this bad boy built. Right then, we're going to start the process by prepping our body. So we've got the actual body shell itself, we've got the bonnet, we've got the front valance, rear valance, wing mirrors, all to prep and get ready for primer, paint and 2K. Now, clean up with the UMP sanders, any seam lines, any imperfections and any sprue points as well. We are going to leave some on there for painting, like on this front valance with a quick test fit. Make sure it fits all fine. Absolutely beautiful fit. It's a brand new toolkit this. The review's further back on the channel if you go back and have a look. We've got the obligatory seam lines to deal with, which run back to front, across the front fenders, over the roof and across the back end. So just spend a few minutes looking for those and taking care of them, whichever your favourite sander is, which for me is a UMP thinny sponge. Really easy to clean up this kit though, not a lot of cleanup required. We've got a Tamiya 2000 grit sanding sponge and we're going to key all the body. This gives us a good surface for primer, puts thousands of micro abrasions in the finish and allows the primer to grab hold. Also removes any imperfections or anything that may be on the surface of the model. We'll also degrease the model with ProScale Paint's pre-paint degreaser, and that will get rid of any fingerprints or nasties that have been left behind from the moulding process. With the bonnet, we're going to cut it off from a sprue mounting point, nice and cleanly with our Tamiya side cutters, and then clean it up with a UMP sponge as well. So, like I say, really nice kit this, really high quality. Rear spoiler, this is actually going to be in a satin black, but we're going to get it primed up anyway. As I say, we degreased the model with the pre-paint degreaser from ProScale. We've dusted it off with our Tamiya anti-static brush, and we've got some ProScale white microfiller primer now. We've got my Iwata CR3 Revolution airbrush at about 18 psi. I'm going to put 2 or 3 light coats of primer down, building up. Now this is a microfiller primer, so it will fill any micro imperfections on the bodywork, but that will also mean it will require sanding back once fully dry to get a nice smooth finish. But a light coat to begin with. We don't need to put heavy coats of this paint down at all. It is counterproductive to what we're trying to do. So with the first coat, just put a nice light mist coat down, building it up, removing any dust or particles that land on there while we still can. So 3 coats of primer should be more than enough for this. If you think you need more, feel free to put more on. It is a great primer, the ProScale primer. Like I say, it lays down absolutely beautiful, and once sanded, you have a silky smooth surface ready for paint. So just be trying working a dust-free area as good as you can. I've got my extractor on. I'm gloved as well to keep the paint off my hands. We've got the model mounted on our Tamiya paint stand, the bonnet on a old paint bottle with a double-sided bit of tape on the top. And obviously on the model, pay attention to all the recessed areas around the windows, in the engine bay, the wheel arches, under the sills and the rear end as well. Just make sure you get full coverage everywhere. Like I say, probably 3 coats of paint on this. We'll go up and down one direction and then side to side on the next coat as well. So we get a full coverage in all the panel lines and recesses. As you can see, the primer's laying down absolutely beautiful. You can also see I've left the strengthening point in the bonnet for now as well. That'll be painted black later on, so we don't need to remove that just yet. So I've left it in there just to give a bit of strength to the front end while we're getting it all painted. So the bonnet as well, we are priming everything at the same time that is going to be yellow. So basically on this, it is the body, the bonnet, and the wing mirrors. They're going to be yellow. The lower front and rear valance are going to be black. The boot spoil is going to be like a satin semi-gloss black. So the only real yellow parts are the body, the bonnet, and the wing mirrors. So they're going to get primed in white. The front and rear valance will be primed in black, as will the rear spoiler as well. So the priming done and left to dry for a good 6 hours. We've got our Tamiya 3000 grit sponge this time. We're just going to go around and lightly flat and key the primer. We're not trying to take the primer off. We don't want to burn through it. We'll just flatten back the very top surface that remove any imperfections or dust spots that may have landed in there, and allows a microfiller primer to do its job, fill in any slight imperfections that may be left on the body. So don't burn through, not a lot of pressure, we're just taking our time. So for the paint for this, we've got ProScale Ford Grabber Yellow. This is my own company. Paints are absolutely wonderful. They lay down absolutely superb. Proper colour match to original specs of the paint, and they are pre-thinned for use. We've got our Iwata CR3 Revolution again, 0.3mm needle, 18 psi, and we're going to put down probably 7 or 8 coats of the ProScale Grabber Yellow. Nice light coat. Again, no benefit in putting this on heavy. You will not get a gloss finish from this paint. The gloss will come from the 2K clear coat that we put on later. We're just going for coverage. So again, pay attention to the sills, all the lower edges, the wheel arches, in and around the windows. Even if the window is going to be a different colour, I would still paint the entire car. The amount of times I've painted something, I'm not taking it right to the edge thinking, oh, it's getting painted a different colour, and it's kind of bit me in the butt later on. So yeah, paint everything. But nice, light, thin coats. As you see, we go in nice, slow, steady passes. And with each opposing pass, we'll go left to right and then up and down to make sure we get full coverage. I'm going to speed this up a little bit because we've got a lot to paint and you don't want to sit here watching it all. Ultra high speed, but this is the first coat going down. We'll let it flash off for 5 or 10 minutes and then we'll put down our second coat. And as you can see, even though it's yellow on white, the coverage is very, very fast. Our paints are highly pigmented, superb, vibrant colours. And as I say, this is colour matched to the original Ford Grabber Yellow code. They're not over thin paints. It's one thing we strive to do at ProScale. And while I am painting these parts yellow mistakenly, they're not going to be yellow. So I would say this is about 4 or 5 coats in now. And as you can see, we're getting full coverage there. That Grabber Yellow looking absolutely stunning. A beautiful, vibrant yellow colour. Looks absolutely amazing. The Revolution CR3 is a wonderful airbrush for doing this. It's got a nice wide pattern. As you can see, it's got a little bit of dust on there. And yeah, perfectly suited for spraying lacquer paints. And like I say, with every coat, make sure you do all the other parts at the same time so every part gets the same number of coats. And that way, your colours should match perfectly across the board. Like I say, although I am painting these 2 parts here, these will be black later on. And our last coat, as you can see, going up and down just as a final coat, and that yellow is beautiful. So glad I chose this colour. When I'm choosing colours, I normally Google for pictures of the car, factory colours, and then look through and pick a colour that appeals to me the most. And this Grabber Yellow just screamed at me to do it. I do have a Grabber Blue that I plan to do my Ford Torino in at a later date. But for me, this Grabber Yellow, absolutely stunning colour. Laid down absolutely perfect, silky smooth. Like I say, 6 to 8 coats is my normal coverage. And as you can see by the bottle of paint there, we've not even gone below the top of the label. We've literally just probably used less than a quarter of the bottle of paint. The coverage on our paint is absolutely phenomenal. It varies from colour to colour, obviously, but they cover very, very well. Having a quick inspection to make sure I haven't missed anywhere. A quick blow over one last little bit, and there we go. So everything is dried now. It's been drying for a good few hours. We need to mask up this bonnet because there is a decal that goes around it all. So while we're there, we're going to mask up the side skirts as well, purely and simply because I fluffed up the decals. Yep, I had a bit of a calamity with the side decal, so I had to mask and spray this up by hand and paint with ProScale Deep Black, which looked perfectly well. There is a pinstripe on there that was quite difficult to do. And if you want to see this in more depth, I have the full 3-part build series on my Patreon, where I go much more in depth than in this video, showing exactly how I did things and the processes along the way. Now, like I say, you get measurements and the instructions for the hood on where to put this decal. It is a very tricky decal to get in place, so take your time getting this in the correct position. They are quite delicate decals, although they are very high quality. So just really take your time doing it. I also went and did the side skirt, forgot to mask the stripe at the back on the rear quarter as well. And while we're here, we might as well paint up the separate body panels as well. So they're getting primed in Pro Scale Black Primer for now, and we'll 2K them later on. And we'll paint these side skirts, well, not side skirts, the rear part here for the stripe in Pro Scale Deep Black. And we'll do those valances in the same colour. Now, I did toy with doing some bare metal foil on this, but I've learnt my lesson in the past, so I thought, nope, we'll mask it and spray it the old-fashioned way. So using various masking tapes, we mask up around all the chrome work, and then using the Pro Scale stainless steel, which is the perfect colour for the windows, a couple of light coats of that, sorts that problem out, no bother at all. And then on the side of the body, we've got some decals for the side stripes as well, which laid down with the UMP decal solutions, went down absolutely perfectly. So while the decals are good quality, please take your time because they are quite delicate at the same time. So we gave the car a panel line wash as well, Tamiya black panel line wash. It's all been allowed to dry, wiped off, and then we're here probably the day after, 2 days later, and we're going to 2K. So we've got the Pro Scale 2K system, which is a 2-to-1 mix of clear to activator. So if you're mixing, say, 10 ml of clear, you want 5 ml of activator, and then you need 0.5% of that combined mix in thinner. So if you had a 15 milliliter mix, you'd need 0.75 milliliters of thinner. It's very easy to work out once you get used to it, and it's very easy to mix the paints. Make sure you use separate pipettes for everything. Don't contaminate the bottles with different pipettes. Once you've got the clear and the activator together like this, give it a good mix together to get the chemical activated and get the process underway. And then throw the pipette away forever. And then we're going to get 0.75 milliliters of thinner. Measure on our pipette, pop that in. With each bottle, get the lid on and get it back out of the way. Make sure the lids are on securely. Give that mixture a really good stir as well to get all that mixed together. And then what I always recommend with any 2K is strain it. You never know what's in there. The activator does start to dry very quickly on the rim of the lid. It's just a fact. It's what it does. So make sure you've got no nasties in there by giving it a good strain through. With the body, we are securely mounted to our Tamiya stand. It's actually taped to it this time so it doesn't fall off. We've already dropped a few models. We don't want to do that again. Hit it with our Tamiya anti-static brush. We've got our Iwata CR5 Revolution. This is a 0.5 Revolution that I solely use for 2K. And we're going to put down a nice semi-gloss, well, a nice almost gloss coat of 2K to begin with. So we're not striving to get a perfect finish. We're just putting a good level of 2K down. Again, pay attention to all the recesses, the sills, the wheel arches, everywhere. Just trying to be nice and consistent. We're at about 22 psi. I've got my AS300 vent running. I'm double gloved. My left arm is covered, so I've got no overspray on that. I've got my Scott full face respirator on with the applicable safety filter on there. I've got my box to the left, which I can put the model in once it's 2K to stop any dust landing on it. And I'm in the room on my own, which is one of the most important safety points I can make about 2K. Make sure you've got a good respirator on, cover all your skin up, a good extractor. Make sure you're in the room on your own, you've got any family or pets with you. Once you're done, leave the room while it flashes off and off gases. This will be touch dry in 4 to 5 hours, no problem whatsoever, as long as it's at room temperature. Above 15C, it should be dry in 4 to 5 hours. And it's fully cured, hardened in 5 to 7 days, but you can handle it within 4 or 5 hours. So with that done, that'll go in the case. That's our first coat of 2K done. We've got the bonnet to do, we've got the wing mirrors and the front and rear valance to do as well. So they're all going to be done systematically as we go through. And it's the same procedure on each one. We're just getting a nice semi-gloss finish down. And for each pass, we try and keep that wet edge over the previous coat. And get the sides as well. Once we're happy, we'll pop that back in. And it's just a case of working through the parts. Now, when you've got a few parts like this, it's quite difficult to juggle them, so make sure they're securely mounted, because I've dropped parts before. It's soul destroying to drop 2K parts because you're doing them again. You have to strip and start over. But the finish you get from 2K is unbeatable, absolutely unbeatable. And the Pro Scale 2K system is so easy to use. It's unbelievably forgiving, and the results, well, my models speak for themselves, and that's all I'll say. So be careful of smaller parts, because obviously they are easier to overspray. So don't go too crazy on them. That's all put back in the case for 5 minutes to flash off. I've sped this footage up a little bit. And now we're going to put a full wet coat down. So basically the same as the first coat we put down. We're not striving to get a perfect finish. Although we do recommend 2 coats of 2K, what I like to do is get this nice wet coat down. Just go around it systematically everywhere. And then I'll pop it back in the plastic case for a minute or so while we do all the other parts. That lets the 2K self-level a little bit. We can take it back out, have a look, and decide if it needs a little bit more. The biggest thing with 2K is get it under cover as soon as possible. Dust is your real enemy. The less dust you can get in there, the better it is, because you've got less polishing and sanding to do then. So work on the parts quickly, but carefully at the same time. And again, we've got the body, the bonnet, the 2 valances, and the mirrors to do at the same time. And make sure you get all the angles around all the edges, and whatever you do, don't touch any of the parts together, because they will stick. So like I say, we allow the body to sit for 90 seconds, let the 2K self-level. We grab it, angle it towards our light, looking for anywhere that there may be orange peel or slight imperfections. Because the one thing you need to also remember about 2K is how you leave this at the end is how it's going to dry. So if there's orange peel when you're finished, it's going to dry like that. So this is your opportunity to get rid of that imperfection. It should be like glass when you're done, and it will dry that way. So that's what to do. You can push our 2K, and I will stress our 2K, Pro Scale's 2K, a lot further than you think you can. It is very, very, very forgiving. And even though it might look like it's going on quite thick, once it levels out and flashes off, it actually dries pretty thin. So, like I say, give it that 90 seconds just to sit and just self-level, and then have a look. And that way you're not putting too much down and getting that really thick look of 2K that people don't like. So there we go. We're going through all the parts again. Just let it sit in that box for another minute. Pop them in, switch all the parts around, have a quick look. Have a look, does that need just a little bit more there? And that's what you can do. You can just put a little bit more in. Have a look around. And you can leave the 2K in the airbrush. A lot of people ask me this. It will sit in the airbrush for a long time because it only dries when it's laid out thinner. Obviously, don't leave it in your airbrush because it will destroy it if it dries in there. But I leave the 2K in the airbrush the whole time through this. So we clean the airbrush up. It's been cleaned out. Everything is still left the same. We've not changed anything. And after this is sat for a little bit, we're just having a quick look and making sure I'm happy with everything. Be very careful at this stage not to catch the body on anything or touch any of the parts together. Like I say, I angle everything towards the light, looking for imperfections, because this is the time we can still fix it. Quick look around. All looks good to me. That yellow with the black highlighting and stripes just looks absolutely fantastic. Yep, and there we go, a fantastic 2K job. So with the fun bit out of the way, because that is the fun bit to me, we're on to the boring job, which is part cleanup. And there are a lot of parts in this kit. It is a very well-spec'd kit, should we say. So we're going to go through with a variety of UMP sanders and clean up all the parts. Get rid of any sprue points or any seam lines that may be there. It is a laborious, boring job. And I used to do this in sections. I used to work on like the running gear on the engine, get it all cleaned up, primed, painted, assembled, then move on to the interior. But now I just cut everything off and clean up all together. It is so much easier. We've got some parts to assemble and glue together, like the engine block and the seats. So they're all done with our Tamiya Extra Thin mix. And we've cut all the parts off and cleaned them all together. They can all be mounted, they can be primed together, painted together, and it's just a much more efficient system of building models. So if you don't do it this way, try it and see what it does to your modeling. While you're doing bits that take longer, like cleanup, once it's done, that's it, it's done. You've got no more cleanup to do. Once the priming's done, you've got no more priming to do. Once the painting's done, you've got no more painting to do. And trust me, it is a much more efficient way of building models, and it will increase your modeling output. So for the interior, we're going black on black. It's just boring black on black, which most of these American cars seem to be, unfortunately. We've got some Pro Scale grey primer, which we're laying down. Meanwhile, I forgot to drill out the exhaust, so a quick visit back to the bench. We've got our pin vise. I'm just going to gently drill out the very ends of the exhaust. Now, whatever you do, don't slip. The amount of times I've stabbed myself with a pin vise and drill bit is ludicrous, and it hurts. With all the priming done, we've got some Ford engine blue through our Water HPC Plus this time, 18 psi, and we're going to put 2 or 3 light coats down until we got full coverage, like so. There's our beautiful engine blue colour. We do a whole host of different engine colours of Pro Scale for US cars, as well as a whole host of metallic colours, which I'm adding to constantly as we go. So this is Pro Scale steel for the exhausts. Beautiful, finely pigmented metallic colour, which is one thing I've strived for with our colours, is to make sure all the metallic flakes are appropriately scale size, because it is a real pet hate of mine to see modelling paints with massive flakes of paint in them. For the interior, we're going with Pro Scale Napa Black Leather. Yes, I know it wouldn't be leather, it'd probably be vinyl on this, but it's one of my favourite colours, so it's one I tend to use all the time. We've got this beautifully detailed dashboard, which looks absolutely stunning. Like I say, this is a very good kit, very well spec'd, yeah, absolutely awesome kit. So we're going to paint all the trim pieces on the interior in Napa Black. We've got various metallic components to paint in various colours as well. Like I say, if you want to see much more in-depth videos, click my Patreon down below, become a member, and you'll access the full video builds. This is one single 30-minute video, this build. There are 3 separate 30-minute video builds of this actual build, where I go a lot more in-depth in what I'm doing. So in the kit, there is a great decal sheet, including all these wood decals for the door cards. We've got the instrument displays for the dials on the dashboard, and there's also some nice trim on the dashboard as well for wood and the radio and what have you. Chrome. So we de-chromed all the parts, which didn't go very well because, number one, the chrome didn't come off very well with bleach. It was in there for 3 days and didn't quite remove it all, and somehow in the process I managed to snap my bumper, lose the snapped half, and had to buy a new kit to replace it. So we'll go with the Pro Scale Chrome system now. So we're primed in black, Mr. Surface 1500 black I think it was. We're then going to put a coat of 2K down, Pro Scale 2K, just like we did with the body. This is the process for using our chrome. There is a separate video on the channel, and the chrome is unbeatable. It's absolutely fantastic. Once that has dried, the 2K, we can put our chrome over the tops. This is our actual chrome paint. 2 or 3 light coats of chrome, building up slowly, and you'll get an absolutely stunning chrome finish. That's left to dry while we deal with the rest of the interior. We've got the seats in place, door cards in place, all glued in. With carpets been flocked as well with Pro Scale black flocking and some enamel paint. And we've got all our dashboard detailed up, all the steering wheel in place, and we're just gluing it in place. Like I say, much more in-depth videos on my Patreon if you want to go and have a look, because this is quite a quick video. Running gear assembled, we've got the exhaust in place, the rear differential, the prop shaft, rear suspension in there as well. And the wheels, I opted to leave these in the kit chrome because the chrome was really, really good, and it kind of matched the Pro Scale chrome as well, which was really good. But I did have to paint the centers of the wheels black, so I opted to use Vallejo model color black on the wheels, which just wipes straight off anyway, we don't need it. So I very carefully went around and painted all the wheels, and then with pointed cotton buds, you can literally push it into the edge, carefully run it round, and it will remove the excess paint from anywhere we don't want it. So a nice simple way of painting the wheels. The engine, we're just test fitting the manifold header to see where we're going to wire it up. I've got a Gopher pre-wired distributor, and we're going to drill and wire up all the ignition leads. It's not going to be in firing order, which I know a lot of people like to see. Yeah, I know nothing about these cars and engines, and yeah, it's not going to start, is it? So it doesn't really need to be in firing order. We've painted the distributor black. We drilled a hole bigger on the engine, and we're going to snip the ignition leads to the appropriate length and then feed them round into the holes. We've got the manifolds in place as well now so we're not in each other's way. And yeah, I'm just going to go around. I'm going to grab them randomly so they're not all in a neat kind of order going around, so it does look like they kind of fall in the firing order. And there we go. Once it's all wired up and we've got our chrome valve covers on, which look absolutely fantastic. Pro Scale Chrome looks awesome. We're going to paint our transmission in some Tamiya X11 enamel silver. The enamel paints from Tamiya are fantastic to brush with, really high quality. And then we can pop our engine into the chassis itself, line it up with the mounting points and the prop shaft. We've got the bulkhead in, which I think I put in the wrong order. I think I should have put the bulkhead in after the engine went in, but hey ho, it's one of those. So the chrome on the bumpers has dried now. We've got our chrome sealer. So we need 2 to 3 light coats of this. And what that does, it puts a protective barrier over the chrome, which allows us then to 2K it again. And we have a very shiny chrome finish that you can handle to your heart's content. It works absolutely fantastic. Like I said, there's a full video on the channel. If you've not used our chrome yet, well, you're missing out. So the body's been drying for about a week now. I put this project to one side while I was working on Ferrari SF90, which you'll see on a video very soon as well. And we're going to flat back the 2K. So we've got some Trizec 6 and 8000 pads here. These things are amazing for flat and back bodywork. They're so efficient. But obviously be careful of any raised areas or any corners where the paint's inherently thinner. Once we've flatted back an area, we tidy it up and clean it up with some kitchen paper and go at it again if needed. Now, we're sanding it back for 2 reasons. Number one, to remove any imperfections like dust spots or whatever that may have landed in the 2K, but also to thin the 2K out a little bit. While our 2K does dry nice and thin, it always benefits from a polish. I don't always do it. You're going to see that in the Ferrari video. I didn't flat or polish that because it just looked amazing. Once we've gone through the 6 and 8000 Trizec pads, flatten it back, we've got the Ultimate Modeling Products polish system here. So we've got the compound to start with, which is quite an aggressive polish. And we're going to work our way around the entire body, bringing back that shine we've lost from sanding it. Once we've done an area, we clean it up with a clean piece of t-shirt, and you can see the shine coming back already. It's looking absolutely phenomenal. Then we can move on to the polish. So this is a less aggressive polish, and this will get rid of all those micro abrasions that are left behind from the sanding and polishing process, and hopefully give us a beautiful high shine gloss 2K finish. And spoiler alert, it does. It works absolutely perfect. So for me, the old offcut t-shirts are absolutely perfect for doing this. Once you've done the section, get a clean piece, wipe it all off. Like I said, just be careful of any raised areas or any corners because it's very easy to burn through. And there you go, polished up, looks absolutely fantastic. Beautiful 2K, beautiful vibrant grabber yellow as well, looks absolutely astounding. There we go. So with that done, this is one of my favourite steps here now. I've painted all the interior black and we're starting with the final build process. So I painted all the interior roof and A, B, C pillars and down the door cards in Vallejo model colour black. We've got the rear panel in with the lights in, masked up the windscreen, which to be honest, I don't think you really need to do. You can't really see this when it's assembled, but the instructions call for it to be done. So a couple of coated Pro Scale primer sorted that. We've test fitted everything, all the glass is in place now as well. That was glued in with Bob Smith's gold. Really nice and simple, really well fitting glass. And we've popped our interior in place, which we've already test fitted all this. And then we're going to get the chassis and the body. Now, this is very tight. It's a very, very precise fit. So make sure you take your time here. And I found working from the front to the back work best. So just literally get something in to prise the body open gently. Just get it over the edges. It is an unbelievably tight fit. It gets a bit panicky at stages like this. You think, is this going to fit? The wheels are just pushed onto the axles. No problem at all. And there we go. The instructions call for a little bead of glue across the top of the engine here, well, the engine bay. So a little bit of CA glue just injected in with our precision nozzles. Nice and simple. And there we go. Quick test to make sure the bonnet still fits with the engine, and it does, which sometimes they don't, which is a bit of a nightmare. Boot spoiler, we drilled out the holes for this underneath in the pre-marked places before we did this and just widened them, and the boot spoiler fits on perfect. And then for the door locks, we're going with the dress pin trick like we did last time. So we drill the hole out. We've got some dress pins we bought off Amazon. We cut them to the right size with our wire cutters like so. And then pop them in place. A little dab of Bob Smith's using the cut off part of the pin. And then push it home with our tweezers. And there we go. Joe Camilleri gave me that idea, and it's absolutely fantastic. It works brilliantly. So we do both of those and on the boot lid as well. And it just adds a nice little touch to the build. They look a lot better. And there we go. There's the boot lid one in. They are a bit fiddly to get in, but nice little touch to do. Good tip from Joe, that one. Door handles, again, another part of the chrome system from ProScale, and they look absolutely fantastic. They really do. A little dab of Bob Smith's in there to hold those on. And then the front grille. So the grille is painted black. We painted the light silver using some Vallejo Model Air silver. And the headlights are just being glued in place with some Bob Smith's gold. We've got the little yellow lights in there as well. And we've also got the Mustang logo in the center of the grille. There we go. I do wish Revell would give proper metallic transfers for this. Front valance, a little dab of glue underneath. We've already test fitted it. The grille just slots in. The bumper just glues on top. Really simple. Exactly the same on the back. Just a little dab of glue. Hold it for a few seconds. Let the CA glue grab it. And then the rear bumper in place as well. Little dab of glue. Because this is the ProScale chrome, you can handle this to your heart's content. The chrome will not come off at all. It's fully protected by the 2K. Wing mirrors, we put the inserts in that we chromed as well. And then a little dab of Bob Smith's in their mounting locator points. We can get them in and lined up perfectly. And there we go. And then the final stage is the UMP Shine Spray. Again, a part of the polishing system. I use a microfiber, very, very fine, ultra fine microfiber glasses cleaning cloth here. Spray the shine on, wipe it on. It's not abrasive. It just needs to be wiped on. You can use it on clear parts as well. It just needs to be wiped on, left to haze up, buffed off, and you'll have a beautifully polished model. And just how amazing does this car look? It looks phenomenal in yellow. It's so vibrant. It's absolutely beautiful. I can't recommend this kit enough. It was a brilliant kit to build. Great fun. And yeah, very happy with the result of this. It turned out absolutely beautiful. And again, we can go over all the chrome parts as well. No problem at all. And then once we've got that all on, turn to a clean part of the cloth and just give it a nice buff up to a nice super high shine. So your engine bay is looking good as well. We've got all the decals in there. Yeah, I do kind of regret not detailing the engine up a little bit more. I wish I'd wired the battery up, had a few more hoses and wires in there, but we'll build another one of these. It was a very good kit, and I'll definitely revisit this at a later date. And there we go, she's done. Look at that, looks absolutely stunning. The yellow is beautiful, the chrome works fantastic, all the black work looks amazing. Oh, look at that, good hand, saved it. It's just turned out fantastic. Really good kit and an absolutely beautiful model. Somebody did say it was an ugly car. Dan, you're wrong, mate. It's not ugly. It's a pretty car. I like this one. And there we go. There's another build off the bench. I've got some pictures here as well I took of her. And like I say, what a great kit. Really can't fault this at all. After reviewing it, I just couldn't resist starting it. It was just, yeah, it was just one of those kits. I've got to start it. I've got to build it. And here we go. So, enjoyable build from start to finish. Other than the issues with the decals, which were my own problem, there was no problems with this kit at all. Absolutely perfect kit. Top-notch job from Revell. So, I hope all their future releases are like this. So, this was primed in ProScale white primer, painted in 4 grabby yellow from ProScale. We masked off and sprayed the lower black lines with Pro Scale Deep Black. Kit decals were used elsewhere. We used Pro Scale stainless steel on the windows. It was given a Tamiya black panel line wash, or dark grey panel line wash. Pro Scale 2K clear on the body. The Pro Scale chrome system on all the chrome work. The interior was Pro Scale Napa Black with Pro Scale Black flocking. The kit decals, like I say, a little bit delicate, but absolutely wonderful decal sheet with the kit. The kit wheels were left in chrome and painted the black inserts. And then it was all polished up with the Trizic pads and the UMP polish system, and given a final buff up with the UMP shine system. And yeah, very happy with this one. For a brand spanking new toolkit, this is a phenomenal kit. Not the cheapest of kits. This cost me about £35 in the UK, so it's definitely up there with Tamiya kit prices. But the quality is definitely improving on the Revell kits. And yeah, I really enjoyed this build, and I'm very, very happy with the result. So there we go. I think that's like build number 19 of the year out the way for me. All video builds. You can catch all the full video builds on my Patreon, and you can get the smaller condensed builds over on ISM for free. So there we go. Another build off the bench. On to the next one, which is a Ferrari SF90 from Alpha Models. Let's go back to me. There we go. What can we say about that? Well, wonderful kit. Absolutely beautiful car. And yeah, as I said all the way through that video, I can't recommend that kit enough. It's brilliant. It's a fantastic kit. Definitely one we'll revisit at a later date. Yeah, wonderful kit. Top marks to Revell for that one. I always say Revell, whichever one it is. Revell. Yeah, just a wonderful kit. Very well engineered, very well thought out, very in-depth build as well. As a lot to that kit, which is really nice to see. The only regrets I've got is I wish I'd detailed the engine up a little bit more. I wish I'd put some battery leads on there, a few coolant hoses more, or whatever I could have put in there to spice it up a little bit. But other than that, it turned out absolutely fantastic. Really great. The Pro Scale paints just doing their thing. They speak for themselves. From the primer to the beautiful grabber yellow, which was a striking, vibrant colour. The 2K system working absolutely perfect as always. And the chrome system, which is phenomenal. If you've not used our chrome system, it's amazing. Yes, it's a bit more longer-winded than a lot of chromes out there. The biggest difference is you get a very high chrome finish that you can handle to your heart's content. And there's no other chrome out there that does both. No other chrome gives a super high shine and allows you to handle it without it coming off. They all come off. Ours doesn't. So have a look at our chrome system. There is a separate video on the channel showing the chrome system in use, as is the review of this kit on the channel as well. So yeah, that's it. Another off the bench. So there it is. He's in there. Next one you're going to see is this one, which is already finished as well. And we've got another one on the way as well. That one's finished too. Because the patrons are ahead, you guys are a little bit behind on here. So yeah, you got the SF90 Ferrari from Alpha Models next. That thing is amazing. That turned out absolutely phenomenal. And the kit box 190 Mercedes coming soon as well. If you want to get access to these earlier, you become a patron. You get 4 to 5 weeks earlier access on all these. You also get the full video builds. You don't just get this single build. You get the full 3-part builds all early, fully exclusive to patrons, and this condensed build early over on the Patreon, as well as a Saturday bench update I do every week, exclusive patron live streams I do. There's videos that are patron only on the channel as well, and you get added to a Facebook exclusive group for patrons and a messenger chat as well. Loads of other perks which are all listed here. I forgot which side it was then. All listed here, and with your support I can keep these videos going. These are all free on here. I always try my best to give free content, but all the good stuff is behind the paywall, I'm afraid. So yeah, if you want to see more, become a patron down below. You can become a patron for as low as £3. But if you want to get full access to everything, I think it's about £6, and it goes all the way up. And you can pay yearly at a discount should you wish as well. Without the support of those patrons, which are going to be listed at the end of this video, I couldn't keep doing these free videos. So yeah, if you're thinking about becoming a supporter, it's greatly appreciated. There's other links down below as well to PayPal and Buy Me Coffee if you want to do a one-off donation. And there's links to everything down below to the Patreon, ISM Facebook page, UMP Retail, Pro Scale Paints, all our wonderful paints are from. There's links to the off-air hangout. There's links to all the other groups as well. And there's an email address. Get in touch with me if you want to drop me an email. You can look at my stash on ScaleMate should you wish as well. There's all sorts of information down there. So go and have a look. Also, if you're brand new to the channel, make sure you give the video a thumbs up. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell to get notified of all the latest videos. And please leave a comment. I love reading all your comments down below. I'll always try and reply to it. It might take me a bit of time because I do have a lot to go through. But I always try and reply to them. And I do read every single comment that goes in there. Have you got this kit? Have you built it already? Are you going to get it? Are you looking forward to building it? Did you like my build? Did you like the video? Give me some feedback down below. It's always appreciated. And that's it. So enjoy the rest of your day. And thank you to all these guys that support my videos. So take care, everyone. Bye-bye.